Welcome to Hildestone College's quick lesson series where our teachers give you some English language tips.
Hello again, welcome back to Quick Lessons. Today we're going to have a look at the difference in meaning between saying little difference or a little difference. It's a small difference, but as you'll see, it makes a big difference to the meaning. So compare these two sentences. There is little difference between the figures. There is a little difference between the figures. Now, what do you think the difference in meaning is between these two sentences? Well, first of all, yes, I've just added a. That's all I've done, and it's also a weak form, which means it's pronounced in a very short and quick and weak way. It just becomes a, and you hardly hear it in the sentence. There is a little difference, a little difference. Compare that again to the first sentence. There is little difference. There is a little difference. Do you see how small that difference actually is in the pronunciation? If this is something new for you, then look back at our previous videos about weak forms in sentences. Now, let's look at the grammatical difference here. When you say there is little difference between the figures, so without the a, in other words, what you mean is the figures are almost identical and what is different is insignificant. Okay, so there might be slight differences between the two graphs that you're looking at, or pie charts or whatever, but it's not an important difference. So it kind of signals that you're probably not going to talk about it any further. When you say there is a little difference between the figures, then what you mean is there is a difference between them, and it's probably important enough to at least talk about a little bit. So you will probably say another sentence or two about this difference. So it has a completely opposite meaning, in other words. I would like to suggest an improvement to the language, though. Saying there is little difference, so the first example that we looked at, is using little in a formal and academic way. So it's okay in formal writing or in exam writing where you're asked to write an essay or describe a graph or anything like that. When you say there is a little difference, that's using little in quite a non-academic way. Little is not a good adjective to use in formal writing. And when you're saying a little difference, there's a better way of saying it, which is using slight. So it would be much better to write, there is a slight difference between the figures. And if you really want to show off your vocabulary, you could say, there is a slight but significant difference between the figures. So there you're being very precise in saying that the difference may seem to be small, but it's actually quite important. And that would be a good introduction to then explaining why you think this difference is important. So it gives you that control over your writing to say something in a very exact or precise way. And that's what you need to do to get the higher grades in most English language exams, and also a better result in any other kind of writing that you might be doing at university or whatever. Okay, so remember this very small difference of using a or not, which is quite hard to hear when English is not your native language, makes a big difference to the meaning because they're basically opposite in meaning. And if you're using a little difference, then you're not using academic language. So you need to show that you do know the difference. Okay, good luck using that in your next piece of writing, and I'll see you again soon for another quick lesson. Bye!
Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please click on the like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe and click the bell icon so that you don't miss the next video. That's it for this lesson. Until next time, goodbye.